I'm back.
Oh, trouble in the house.
You stop.
Got trouble in the house today.
No.
Y'all don't know. Y'all finna know. Y'all finna know today.
Hello. Can
You
hear
got me?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, let me see if I got you.
What's this?
Okay, there we go. We on. We on live, man. You ready?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You got some good volume.
What you got?
Yeah, all right. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm kind of.
Testing.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
There you go. That's what's up. All right, y'all. How y'all doing today? Conscious Community Connection back on air with. Well, we've been on air. We just switching it up. We let Kiki and Damon handle the last show.
They got the day off.
Yeah, they got the day off.
Boys, don't get too comfortable now, man. You know?
Yeah. Somebody watch them out there. Kiki and Damon, man, y'all have fun out there. Don't take any wooden nickels to do nothing I wouldn't do. So
Kiki said, "Oh, you gave me a day off. I already made plans. I can't come back in. I can't come in."
Yeah, that's what's up. But we got some more things going on. We got
What did we do last week though? Why were you gone?
But
oh man, see, I gotta.
okay.
Anyway,
let me read this disclaimer before we go any further. We ain't gonna start it today. Other than stalkers. This is WRFU LP Urbana. WRFU is an open forum for Urbana and Champaign community. Views expressed are those of the speakers and not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, in Urbana Socialist Forum. So these are our views, perspective. Don't blame the radio station if it's too crazy and too out there. Sometimes we do get out there, especially when Kiki here. Me and Kiki, we get real deep on y'all. So,
oh my,
it's okay. It's all good. Yep. But we in this weekend. What you saying now? You said what?
Last weekend. Last weekend we missed. So where were you?
I don't even remember where I was.
Stop playing with me.
No. We was at the. We went to the Housing Authority Black Tie Scholarship dinner. So Heather was there. Heather gave a great speech. I hope y'all. We streamed it live, didn't it?
Yeah, it was streamed live, so it's still available, you know. But it's on Heather Javon's page. That's JEVAN. So, yes, yep.
Yeah, and it was real. It was good, man. Because Heather really told a heartwarming story.
Yeah.
How she came, how she came up, and she talked about how she beat up a lot of people. No, I'm just kidding. She talked about she talked
I got
about
stalkers still from then to now.
Yeah. Heather was doing her thing, man. Y'all would have been proud of. I was proud of Heather up there. She looked real nice, and man, she was wearing the heels. She was so pretty, very, very elegant. She's very elegant, and I know a lot of people out there not used to seeing Heather like that, but she is coming out. Yeah, more and more. So let's encourage her more and more.
Yes, you got to get that feminine side and embrace it. I'm aware.
Right. That's that feminine energy, man. You gotta.
Yes.
That's your power. You gotta use your power. So that's one of the things. What you see up there?
Now somebody called me and then text me. So I will soon have another phone.
Oh yeah.
Real soon. Yeah. And I think that could be something that we talk about as a team or something, because this is not gonna work.
Let's put that. Let's talk about that fund. That's what we do with that. Then that's what we can do with that, and then that'll just be like a general one. But we'll talk on that later.
Yes.
But that's what we was doing last week. There was a lot of other things going on last week. It was pretty action packed.
There was a lot of events going on.
I know, because I missed the Books to Prisoner event. It was the same night, and I was supposed to be here, but Marlon, he was here, so Marlon gave a good presentation and encouraged everybody to donate books to prisoners, which is something they definitely need. And the Champagne Bail Fund is also looking for help. and assistance. So, and they do a lot in the community. We need to support these groups.
Yes, we do. We do. Yeah. We have to, because they affect us.
Right.
You know, they affect us, period, point blank. So we need books, and we need books in the prisons. You know, we need volunteers. We need people that look like us on the board, you know, involved, volunteering, you know, giving money and doing those things. It helps.
Well, they took a lot of the books and libraries out the prisons, and a lot of people don't know that. You know, now if you want these guys to go in there and get rehabilitated, then how can they do that without reading? So what they really set you up is for to come back with citizenship. Because if you're not reading or nothing, if you're not educating the mind, then how can you raise yourself to those levels?
Exactly.
Now, on that note, I got to introduce who our guest is today.
Yes.
And our fellow first followers right there.
Go.
We have Mr. Hakeem, and I'm going to let him really tell about himself. Because this brother is amazing. I'm going to tell y'all right now. I'm not blowing him up. But he's an amazing brother. Yeah. So and I'm gonna tell you a little bit how I met him. I met him. I was at the washing my clothes, because I ain't had no, this time, you know, I ain't had, my washing machine was out, and I ain't had no girlfriend that could really do it for me, so I had to do it myself. But I met him washing clothes, man. And me and this brother had a conversation, and we clicked right then and there. You know, if you on the same vibration, you could click. But he has done some remarkable things. Day of Gratitude. He just came back from over there going to Mecca. He did that. We could spend a whole show talking about this brother right here, man. I'm telling y'all, man. He's a dynamite brother. He's a dynamite cat to have on your team. Hakeem, go ahead, man. You could. I'm gonna let you get the full blast, the full interview.
We didn't.
Go ahead. It's all you.
Well, greetings, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
I suppose I have my credo. It is I'm an independent seeker of the truth.
Okay. Okay.
So, based on that, I suppose other things that you'll hear today from not just me, but both Heather and Tiger will be a little enlightening for some, depressing for others, and a call to action for others.
I like that.
Okay.
So, but I am the founder, with God's grace, of the Day of Gratitude, which is by the way, it's a holiday that's celebrated in Champaign and Urbana for the last 4 years. Excuse me. And this year, it has been made a state holiday.
Okay.
So next year we have a state holiday
Really?
Celebrate. Yes.
Yeah.
So and of course the trip to Hajj was magnanimous.
Yeah.
And all the rest of the things, accolades that you give to that, I still sometimes I'm still transported there and seeing the Kaaba and that sort of thing. It's an interesting journey. So maybe at another time, or if something comes up in the course of the program today, I'll say more. But here I am, and let's get ready to rumble.
All right.
That Hajj trip alone, man, all them other activities, we could just do a full show on that, man, because I don't know that many people that went on Hajj, and a lot of people don't know what that is. Just tell them what that is, if you don't mind.
Okay, well, the Hajj is some people may have learned about the Hajj in reading the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Okay, yeah,
because it really changed him.
Now he changed his name after the Hajj too, right?
Well, you get the title El Hajj.
El Hajj.
Yeah, but I think the Malik Shabazz was there already. He just hadn't voiced it or whatever. But you go, and some people may think that most of the Hajj is something that focuses on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But it's not. Actually, the rites and that sort of thing that we that we had to go through were mainly of Prophet Abraham and his wife Hagar. So, you know, drinking from the water from Zamzam, a 4,000-year-old well. Water was really good too. You really needed it at the time. I still have some here, matter of fact.
Yeah, I got one of them bottles, one of them Zamzam.
Yeah,
Zamzam
that's
bottles.
right. I gave you Tiger bottle.
It's a powerful water.
If you like some, I have one of them. But so we had that, and things that people don't really talk about very much about Hajj. People talk about the numbers and that sort of thing because we've had some tragedies to occur over the years. But this time it was smooth sailing. I don't know how many millions they had this year, but it was crowded as usual, and there were in fact people from all over the world. I met the first time I met Muslims from Australia. They were saying a good day and that sort of thing. Japan. Right. I had met some from China, but all of the Uzbekistan and Turkestan, all of those people were there. From America as well, from all different parts of America. So we had that, and doing tawaf. Tawaf is going around the Kaaba. You do that 7 times. Okay. And if you have an opportunity,
that's tawaf.
Tawaf, yeah, that's what it's called.
Tawaf, am I spelling?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Perfectly.
All right.
And you do that, and you do it counterclockwise. They say that after you finish Hajj, it's like coming back. You're as fresh as when you left the womb of your mother.
Okay. So it's a healing process.
Yes.
This will lead into heaven in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's certainly a healing process, and it's probably one of the roughest things I've done in my life. Very challenging. You leave your privacy. You have no privacy anymore. Right. And we were there for almost a month. So the privacy is gone. You can't just say, I'm going to go somewhere and I'm not listening to this or this, that, and the other. You have to be there and you have to handle it. And when you're in ihram, that's the 2 cloths that you wear, one at the bottom and one across the top, the men wear. You can't argue, you can't push, fight, sex, nothing. You have to really be on your best behavior. I mean, you can't even kill a bug. If a bug get on you, you can't kill it, you know?
So you can't kill a bug?
No, you can brush it off, but you can't, you know, no killing plants, anything for Hajj.
So what do you eat then if you can't?
Well, I don't have to kill any bugs to eat. You just, they bring you food, you know? Okay, yeah, you brought bugs.
So what's the food like? What type of food do you eat?
Well, we really ate well the first days. We went there for Umrah because we went to both Umrah and Hajj. So for Umrah, we were in a 5-star hotel, so it was really nice. Okay. I had 4 roommates, of course, but the food was really good, and it was rather tiring because, you know, as you do tawaf and the walking of Hagar and running, that she did, that 7 times between Sawa and Marwa.
7 times?
7 times you have to do that. You walk a little distance, then there's some lights, and when you're under the lights, you have to run, and then you stop and you walk again, and then you get to the mountain, either Sawa or Marwa, and you pray, and then you start again, and you do that 7 times. Wow! And this is to acknowledge Hagar and her plight to try to find water for Ishmael.
Right. Now this is when Abraham had dismissed her.
Right.
One of the wives, because the older wife told her that, you know, she had to go.
Yeah, he left her in the valley there.
Right, and his older wife was what's his
Sarah.
Sarah. Sarah told her, that she didn't want her there no more.
Yeah, that's the Bible story. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Because she didn't want the son to have the inheritance.
Right.
Right. That's what it was about. She wanted to keep her son. She wanted her son to have the inheritance instead of, which would have naturally went to the oldest child. Right. Right.
Right.
I got it right? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So we had to sacrifice
That's
a
the
lamb.
fill-in moment. Okay.
Sacrifice a lamb like Abraham did.
Y'all had to actually kill it?
Yeah, well, we paid for it. And it was too cumbersome for us to do it ourselves.
Right.
So we had somebody to do
y'all
it.
got on sheets, man, and,
You know,
and blood
and,
everywhere. That's kind of gory.
Well, yeah, but you know, you can handle it. I mean, it wouldn't have been that much of an issue. Well, for some, I suppose, you know.
Yeah.
But particularly if you didn't want a lamb would be easier to slaughter.
Right.
But when you're getting the goats and camels and cattle, it's a little bit more difficult, particularly dressed like that. So
yeah.
But we had that to happen. We drank from Zam. A lot of encouragement. You know, we had some real powerful sisters with us. They would say, "Come on, Hakeem, you can do it. You can do it." You know, so I had to have a boost from time to time.
Okay.
I was working on not having my wind to go. The wind didn't go. I was just tired. So
Right.
I didn't work on that as much. So it was stamina. But anyway, aside from that, we had a wonderful time. It was interesting to see the places where the Quran was revealed, where Prophet Muhammad was born.
Okay.
Where the first ayat in the Quran was revealed. You know, well, funny story about that too. Well, not that particular part, but the brothers going up there. Say it was hour walk up that mountain. It's called the Mountain of Light.
Right.
Of course, I said, just bring some pictures back. I wasn't gonna try that one. An hour down. This was hour up and hour down.
Wow.
I did climb Arafat though. That was a wonderful thing.
That's the mountain where they said that where Noah landed, right?
I think there's some story about that.
Yeah.
But then it's also the mountain where when Adam was put out the garden, where God he placed
When he
Adam.
was in the cave.
Huh? No, he placed him on that mountain.
Right. Him and Adam and Eve was in a cave in one of the
Well,
old
they
right?
went to. We slept on that mountain where they met, because he put Adam and Arafat and put Eve somewhere else, and they met in a place called Muzdalifah. And actually, we climbed that mountain, slept on that mountain, with a little small mat. You had to clear the rocks off, you know, and sleep. We slept for a couple of hours, and we had to get up and pray again, and we left. But then we had to storm the Jemarat. As Abraham was trying to get everything together to do the sacrifice with Ishmael,
right.
The devil was telling him, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Why you want to go through this, that, and the other? And you're already old, and you're not going to get another son, and so forth and so on.
Right.
So he was picking up some stones and throwing at him. And so it's mimicked.
Oh, y'all throw the stones.
Yeah, you actually throw the stones.
But is that
at
three
the,
pillars? Is that three?
It's three of them. The first day you do one, the big one.
Right.
And you throw 7 stones and say Allahu Akbar each time. And then you come back the next day.
Right.
And you have all 3. So you have to have 21 stones then. And you just pick them up at random around the place. But I have a picture of brother. He was really adamant, man. He was kicking his leg up like he was pitching the ball. Allahu Akbar. Throwing it at the Jemarat. You know?
He was putting some emotion.
Oh, he did a whole lot of emotion. Brothers actually took a picture of him. So it was that. But the eating was good. The temperament of the people in Mecca and Medina are very different too. Mecca is where the initial surahs in the Quran is revealed. But the community ideas of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, were revealed in Medina. And the masjid is just so beautiful and so big. And the masjid where he's buried.
Right.
Prophet Muhammad is buried in that. He and some of the Sahaba, his companions.
Okay.
I saw also where the battles were fought. That's in the Quran.
Right.
Still on one of the mountains and had a motion like I was shooting an arrow on one. And then I saw the one where the trench is the surah called the trench.
Okay.
I saw the little house where he stood and made a plea to Allah for some help. But that and a lot of other things, you know. So where Hamza was buried and went to a date farm. And
Oh yeah, those some good dates, man.
Yeah. the date form was good.
I
still owe somebody, I guess, another bag of dates.
Yeah, poor Heather.
So,
but that sounds like a healing journey, man. And Heather, she's the queen of the healer. We call her Queen Healer. You might as well slide on up here, because you know I'm finna slide you in there. You gotta.
What you got?
I got something for
What you got?
What that sound like to you? That sound like a healing journey, don't it?
Yeah.
That sound like a journey. Not only was it a physical journey, and Heather, you gotta move so your people can see you, your fans can
They don't need to see me.
They need to see you. They want to see you.
Well, no, not today.
Now, come on.
What?
You're gonna get up in there so they can see you. Go ahead. You're gonna get over there. Trying to hide from the people. And they love Heather. And you're like, there go Heather. She can't even go nowhere now. There she go. But don't that sound like a healing journey? That sound like because that sound like, you know, they eating good. They can't argue. They can't kill nothing. They gotta. What else he doing? Man?
It was. I heard discipline in there. You know, because you couldn't do certain things.
Now,
you know,
we dropped down from the. It was a gradual decline. You know, we were in a 5-star hotel. Then we went to a 1-star hotel. Then to a tent. Then to just a mat. You know, then the 1-star, well, not the 1-star, the tent store really feeling like a 5-star hotel when you came back out of there. Wow. It was, but you know, we were like 30 of us in one situation with Ikram. You had nowhere to move because, you know, you're shoulder to shoulder with other men, and then your feet touching and that sort of thing. So it was like, oh my goodness.
That's how you sitting, or
that's where you had to sleep. You know,
yeah, I wouldn't make it. Man.
So it was like I said, it was a test.
Yeah,
you know, for sure. On everybody. And then you had problems with the restroom because you had to walk a distance to go. You know, you may have had 5 or 10 tents between you and the bathroom.
Okay.
You know, and then there was always a line, except early in the morning. Or real late at night. There wasn't lines. But you'd be stacked up like 6, 7, 8 people. You have to wait.
Man.
Some folks taking showers in there and all this. So it was I'm just thinking about it. It was a little
that was a test,
cumbersome.
Man.
Yes. But again, the reward was so low. You know, you really feel good. And the connections were there. Just to see so much in it. Everything was just so beautiful.
So what you thinking, huh? It sound like a training process, how to be civil with each other, almost like, you know, like a lot of we live in these communities, but it sounds like a training process to me, man.
I mean, because you have to think about it, like when you're on the path of healing and nurturing yourself, you know, inside and out, there's some discipline that's needed. You know, like you couldn't eat certain things at certain times, right?
Yeah, we only had 2 meals a day.
Right.
And no
and certain things that you could possibly do, you know, throughout the day. So, I mean, if you are trying to live life a little bit longer and get to knowing yourself, you got to be aware of what's going on. You have to be aware of what's going on inside and out. And then also you have to be aware of what you're putting in your mouth, what you're consuming as far as like mentally, you know. So it's certain things that I seen that you probably did go through, that some people have to go through, you know, in order to find out who they are, what's their mission, and what's their purpose.
Did that make your mission? That's a good. You just hit on a good point. Did that? I guess the question is now, would you say going on a Hajj clarified your mission, or let you know that you already on your mission, confirmed it?
That's a good question. I say both. As a confirmation in the fact that, well, you know, when you go, you pray that Allah accept your Hajj. Now, one of the things that really came to fruition with me was that I was thinking about the Day of Gratitude while I was there. And I was talking to a brother from Senegal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to explain it to him and so forth and so on. And all of a sudden, a light came on, like, okay, this particular thing, I should focus on a little bit more. So I had that kind of
day
thing.
of gratitude.
Yeah, and then, but then, of course, seeing the prayers, in Mecca, everyone's Muslim. So when the prayer call would go, everything stops. All the cars, all the shops closed.
You mean so somebody driving would do what?
They just stop, get out of the car, put the rug down, and pray.
On the highway?
On the highway, anywhere.
So that everybody, that just stop.
Everything.
They
stops.
pull over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything.
Man, that's commitment.
So, so even with that, that's discipline. You know what I'm saying?
That's some discipline.
And that's just like everything shut down. I know my sister, she's in Kuwait, and she says the same thing, where they have time that people leave from work and then they go back to work. But during that time in between, they're either with family, they're praying, they're doing, whatever they're doing. But certain things are shut down during certain times.
Wow.
Yep.
Man, this is like seeing into a whole different culture to me, man. Because it's I'm starting to see some things here. Maybe we can adopt. I don't know, to a degree, but I think we're gonna get into racism because we just finished this book too. I want to get into that, but I also want to get into the ego and how we get, and how you were saying pretty much how you get over these you'll go into these sort of things, the defenses of the ego, but these defenses of the ego be negative, but it sounds like during that journey what my brother here undertook, that was really to overcome the ego in a lot of ways, because now all these different people around, all these different people, everybody, was it racist?
No, I'd say not. The thing that
let me correct
every time I go somewhere. Every time I go somewhere, even in the U.S., I go to airports or whatever, I'd see someone I know, somebody.
Okay.
There were millions of people. I didn't see anyone I knew. Saw people that looked like people I knew.
Yeah.
But
so none, and I don't mean to say race. Let me see, racism, prejudice. I guess prejudice or racism. Did you feel that? Did you see that?
You couldn't, because you're dressed in these two garments.
Okay.
You couldn't see what a person was. If he was a president of a country or a senator or a businessman, a prominent business person or whatever. So everybody was the same.
But, we got colorism here.
Right. Well, it was interesting to see that when I saw the brothers from Yemen, they were just as dark as I am or darker.
Right.
A lot of them from Saudi Arabia the same way. In different Sri Lanka and a lot of places, even Pakistan and Bangladesh. So there are black people everywhere. And we used to say, they always put the lighter complected ones out front to deal with the West, But found some from Brazil, some of the islands in the Caribbean. So it didn't stand out as much. Now you've seen some people, some guys that were sort of accustomed to being pampered. One guy was just going off. I said, well, you'll be back next year. I said, what? Because if you break your Hajj, you have to come back. You can't make it up.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, if you do any of those things,
like arguing with them, or
you can break your Hajj. If you break your Hajj,
come back.
Yeah, you have to come back.
Or you don't have to come back, but you're not getting this one count.
Yeah. Well, you give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
That they would come back.
But that's what I'm trying to see. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Man, that's a lot, man.
Oh, that's just a little. That's still more. But we'll talk about that later.
I don't know, Heather. What you got? What you thinking? Heather thinking of something.
I didn't have what? Did you have a particular question though?
No.
No.
I mean, because hearing that, man, you know, you always on this healing journey.
Yeah.
That's your whole movement. Your whole movement is about this healing journey.
So when I think of you call it the Hajj?
Hajj, yes.
Okay. It's like when I'm thinking about it, you know how they have yoga retreats. They have yoga retreats, and basically you go to a cabin or somewhere, you know, off in the distance where you're not around a lot of people. You're surrounded by, you know, like-minded people, and then you have your moments where all you're doing is meditate.
Okay.
You know, almost like prayer. I do have a question too, but almost like prayer. So when you're doing the meditation, you're not talking. In between, you can talk, but you're not talking. Pretty much you're breathing, you're meditating, and that's what you're doing. You know, by the third day on my retreat, when I did it, we weren't talking at all. We did a whole like mindfulness day, and it was just all just back to back to back meditation. You know, wasn't too much talking, but they have retreats where you won't talk at all. They call them silent retreats. You know, so it's discipline in there. Then there's, you know, just focusing on yourself, and that's what I hear. It's like focusing on yourself, trying to find out who you are. You know, you doing your practicing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're following that journey. And like you said, you started in a 5-star hotel. By the time you know, you look at it, you like, I'm in a tent. You know, so you start appreciating stuff a lot more. You know, you start being being aware of stuff. Like, man, I'm touching this guy's feet. Like, this is not cool. But hey, I'm aware of this now. You know, you didn't strip me down to nothing but what I have right now. You know, we look the same. We might speak different languages, but we are the same.
I had a case where we were in the elevator once, and there was this group from a couple of people from France,
right?
And they were talking, or they spoke French. So I started. I'm from Louisiana, so I can have a little patois. So I spoke a little French with them, and then there was I think a Chinese guy or something. So I spoke some Chinese, and then there was some Arabic. Another person I started speaking. So someone looked at me, well, how many languages do you speak?
Brother, who are you?
Yeah, who are you? I said, I'm just a regular brother, man. I just have a little thing I can see in certain languages. I guess like comfort food, you know, just comfort talk. You know.
So I got a question. What's the difference between meditation and praying?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You know?
Meditation, oftentimes, in my opinion at least, meditation would be sort of inward search.
Okay.
Where you look at yourself. I know there was one meditation I did. I don't do as much anymore, but it was called. You would listen to your heartbeat and the blood flowing through you.
Wow.
You know, and that was the meditation. And you just sort of go inside, and before you know it, a whole hour has passed.
Yeah.
Now prayer, the prayer that we do as Muslims, it's more formal.
Okay.
And you have certain things that you do and say at certain points in it, you know, certain positions and so forth.
Okay.
And then we bow down. Plus, we pray with our eyes open. We don't pray with our eyes closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you pick a point, you know, on the floor, for example, and you'd focus on that. But and you're saying things. Like, for example, when you begin the prayer, you have to declare that you're going to pray.
Okay.
Then,
so you declare you're going to pray?
Yes.
You say I'm about to pray?
Right.
Okay.
And then you have to do wudu before that. That's when you wash.
Okay.
We have to wash before we pray as well. So you wash. Then after you wash, your hands, your feet, your eye, your face, your arms up to the elbow. And you say certain kinds of things. For example, when you're washing your hands, you say, well, Allah, the hands represent my actions. Would you purify my actions?
Okay.
And help them, you know, to be the best that they could be.
Okay.
And you put it in your mouth and you cleanse your mouth and say, well, this is for discernment, so
Okay.
that as you speak, you know, the tongue could be a heck of a instrument of destruction.
Sure can, man.
Yeah.
And
I
then
done
you,
had plenty of girls cuss me out.
and then you have the nose. You put the water in your nose, and it means your intuition. The clean, you know, that should be focused with your intuition. You wash your face. Your face represents your character.
Okay.
3 times, and then your arms, this represents your deeds, and you ask God to see, you know, and the final judgment that you those that receive their deeds, the record of their deeds in their right hand, you know, the ones that really blessed to go to the Jannah.
Okay.
And so you ask that I receive my blessings. I mean my deeds, record of my deeds in my right hand, and that you protect my deeds, you know. So you do both arms. Then you do your head. You ask him to ask God to. It's almost like a prayer doing that. I guess it is. That your thoughts, to protect your thoughts, and then actually when you put your fingers in your ears, is to ask Allah to you seek refuge from the enemy that comes and whisper into your mind.
Whoa.
You know. Now, mind you, you're doing this every day. You
Right.
know? I mean, 5 times a day. Your feet. You wash your feet. Your feet represents your habits. So you say, well,
Okay.
I mean, my habits be a balance between the spiritual and the material, for example.
Gotcha.
So that's before the prayer. Okay. Now, when you begin to pray, you do the adhan. That's the call. And then when you're right before you pray, there's a break, time for gathering then right before the prayer starts, you do the call, the ikama, and then we all get together, and the imam, whoever's leading the prayer, they will say it. And it's different ones. You do the early morning prayer.
Right.
At 2, you do 2 rakahs. That's going down. Then you do the midday prayer, thuhur, and you do 4, but they're done silently. The morning prayer is done orally because it's dark, you know. Then the midday prayer,
Right.
I mean the day Asr, what the Quran says the one that carries the most weight, because at that time of day you're generally busy and on to your work and stuff, but to stop and pray at that time is really a benefit to you, you know. Then there's the one that comes at sundown and Maghrib, and we pray that, and then in the evening it's Isha. It may sound like a lot, but it's not really that much, you know.
Yeah.
We pray 5 times a day. Jews, well, Moses told them they pray 3 times a day. And I don't know if there's a rule for Christians as far as the number of times they would pray a day. But I hadn't heard it anyway. I'd like to know that if there is.
Any Christians out there know that, I wonder?
Yeah,
question.
I don't know.
I don't know if Jesus said anything about that.
Right.
The amount of times you should pray a
3,
day.
5. Is this, and there's a certain time. So are you, like Heather was saying, at her resort, at her retreat, which is different, but you know, we just trying to see similarities. Did you, in between that time, you guys talked? You did talk.
Oh yeah. Now what was interesting was that some of the things that sort of got under my skin here,
Yeah.
it was sort of manifest over there. Like, I don't believe this is really happening. You know.
Like what?
Well, how would you say this? Well, just irritating. You know, things that sort of get under your skin.
Yeah.
But I guess the test is that too, you know. Because I had some interesting things that happened to me, man, on that.
Okay.
When we left, I left Champaign, going to New York. And when I got to New York, going to check in, get my boarding pass, and I found out that my ticket had been canceled.
Oh yeah, you was telling me that.
Yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
So everybody's on the plane except me
Yeah.
and this couple. And I said, well, Allah got us. Don't worry about it.
Right.
It'll work out. And they went ahead of us. There were 53 of us. Imagine that. So 50 left, and the 3 of us were stuck in New York for an evening.
Right.
So I had dinner in New York. And it just so happened that the brother I was with had a cousin in Queens. So
Right.
he came and picked us up. And we had dinner at his house. It was a Bangladeshi couple.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we had breakfast, and he brought us back. And
so he did have you. Allah did have you.
yeah.
Yeah, he was already taken care of.
Yeah, man. It was like, okay. You know, so it was like, of course, I had no idea. We didn't know what we were going to do. They said, we have a voucher. You can go and get a hotel. Okay. We reimburse you, you know. They knew we had money going.
Yeah.
Coming back was different. But you had money going.
That's
so we did that, and then I had an opportunity to fly business class. That was pretty good.
Oh man, you lived it up.
Well, it was. I think the good Lord blessing us for some of the other trials that we took.
Yeah.
It was from Medina to Dubai. We had that. It was so good. I took a picture of the food. It was like, oh my goodness.
See.
So.
You got to get out there and live a little, man. You got to go. There's so many things out here to try.
And I was just telling somebody that. I said, man, you ought to fly first class. I was just saying that, right? And then it's like, I said, okay. So we had a chance to do it like that. So it was.
Try things.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's for the experience. When you try things, it's for the experience more than anything. You know, it's like when you go to Burger King or Long John Silver or something. You go there for one probably Pacific sandwich or something. But you probably should try different things. You know, if you've been eating oranges all your life, you know, maybe you should try a dragon fruit or something. You know, try different things. It's for the experience more than anything, you know? So you can say, hey, I really don't like it. It's not because I haven't tried it. It's I really don't like dragon fruit because I didn't taste it, you know? So that's what people need to start really doing, you know, like trying things.
Well, you got to talk to a vegan. When you're talking to a vegan, y'all don't try too many different things. I'll be like, eat this meat, Heather. Heather be like, I ain't eating no meat. So, you know.
I've already tried it, probably.
But
I've been here on this earth, you know, and how many meats are there?
Yeah, but you probably
instead of all the other cows.
You probably ain't tasted this meat.
Which meat? Oh, you finna start?
No, I'm gonna leave that alone. See.
Okay, we need to read the disclaimer. This is WRFU, and it's an online forum. Yeah. Views expressed are those of the speakers and are not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, or Bennett Socialist Forum. All right. So whatever you just said,
I ain't saying
your opinion.
Kiki came out of me. It was something.
I know.
Kiki, man. I think Kiki possessing me or something.
Okay, that meat is still seasoned the same way. It ain't gonna change. It's the same hot dog. Ain't no reason if it's burnt on the grill, boiled, whatever you want to call it. Okay.
Chicago style hot dog. You don't miss that.
I like beef hot dogs, but you know.
Miss that?
Yes, I do, but it's another. That's something else.
But you know, what about the veggie hot dogs? You ever tried them?
Those
they come
are
close?
disgusting. No, they're not the same.
I thought you might fix one of them up.
They are not the same.
Don't worry.
There was one that I did like, but it was this like sausage kind. It was disgusting. So, yeah, let's get back to it, okay? You veered off.
Well, Kiki came out at me. I'm sorry, man.
Come on.
He not here, so I had to
stop.
I had to be him, that brother, for a minute, because we miss Kiki.
No.
Yeah, we do. He's a good dude.
No, not at all.
He's like the David Ruffin of the pack, ain't he?
Yeah, he can get knocked out.
That's
but
right. With
what our actual topic is recovery, right?
Recovery, getting over, it's just really just healing, just the whole healing process, man. So
and you were talking about the ego, right?
Well, the ego and the defenses, the defenses of the ego. Because you see, this is how we got on that earlier. We just finished this reading. Me, this brother right here, Marlon. This the book. We had finished this book right here.
That's a read right there.
Yeah, it's called Stamp from the Beginning. Can you put it up there so they can see it, man? They need to see that book. Everybody needs to read that book, man.
Stamp from the Beginning.
It's a good book. Ibram X.
Is he a doctor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a black guy, right?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I think
from FAMU.
FAMU?
Yeah, Florida A&M.
It's a good book, historically black school. But the book was highlighting some things. So they was talking about different characters in there, how each one of them was pretty much fighting or going against saying, well, okay, just to break it short, I came to the conclusion what racism is.
Okay.
We
This
still
your
dealing.
view?
This my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay.
You know, because you had different characters like E.B. Du Bois and them and the rest of them trying to fight racism, but they really wasn't identifying what it was, because they had this thing what's called upward suasion, where they figured that if you just talk better than them and dress right, you know, pull your pants up, they'll accept you. But no, they're not gonna accept you because racism, somebody who's racist, like and Hakeem brought this up, they're not taught that directly, but it's implicit, so it's implied. So that meaning that this is something that we dealing with a defense mechanism. This is a defense mechanism. So you can't rationalize with a defense mechanism.
Right. Okay.
So
okay.
Like you was talking about, like as far as dealing with healing, or let's say somebody is going through drug recovery or something like that. They got these defense mechanisms up.
Most definitely.
Right. So now that we know how we dealing with that, and we know we dealing with a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Not nothing that's rational. It's rationalized.
Okay.
A defense mechanism is not rational, but it's rationalized by the person because it's a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Just like somebody, we had one discussion. I'm gonna give you one more example. One girl who was in a line, and what the gentleman said, he said the girl, she didn't like nobody behind her, so she'd always be looking behind her like that. Like, why y'all standing behind me? She wasn't comfortable with that, but come to find out, she got attacked from behind.
Right. Okay.
So when they put her at the back of the line, she was cool. But in the front of the line in the middle, she was always causing trouble, looking back, starting fights. That's a defense mechanism.
Okay. Okay.
So now where we want to get into, now that we know what it is, racism, all these things, we could categorize all these things into a defense mechanism. Okay. The idea is, how do you get over? How do you reprogram these? Because you see, you'll see a lot of people develop these defense mechanisms. And Anne Freud wrote a book, defense mechanism of the ego. Well, it was 48 defense mechanisms of the ego. So she was naming each one of these defenses, man, and you would develop these. And I found mine up in there. You know, I didn't even know mine. Everybody got one.
Yeah.
Everybody developed this defense mechanism. Yeah. Some people will, you know, you will try to have a conversation with them, and they'll throw the conversation off on, but instead of talking about me, what about him? Man, that's a defense mechanism.
Somebody did something like that in class the other day too.
That's a defense mechanism. So if we dealing with defense mechanisms, you know, now that we know that we dealing with this, going back, reading this all the way down to racism and everything. Okay. Then should we develop a counter defense mechanism dealing with racism? That's the question. What do you think? And I think we have developed a counter defense mechanism, because the first thing we start doing is, when we encounter it, we'll start going into marches. We'll start going into getting defensive. You know, instead of really looking at this thing as, we could say they're ignorant, but you got some very intelligent people who out there who's prejudiced and racist. You know, they got degrees. There's some doctors and lawyers out there that got degrees, but they just don't like you because your skin color.
Well, and another thing, backing up a bit, one of the things that I liked about the book, it sort of confirmed some of my notions already.
Okay, now you're going back to the book on the racist part, right?
That what we have, his approach was to look at the idea of racism. Okay. And
so basically, racism is an idea,
right? Okay. You see, just like, for example, if we had a book of epistemology in here, and look up the root of words, right? If you look up the words for black, you'll find that the root word for black are all white words that mean white. Blanc, blanco, bleach, blank. Yeah. All right. And if you notice, if you have a surface that's black, you can't see anything. If you have a surface that's white, you can't see anything. So actually, and then when you go to the dictionary further and look up white, you see refer to black. Because it's the same thing. All right, it's the same thing, again, but it's what? Ideas. So what he was blessed to do, in my humble opinion, was to look at the framework of racism, go back historically, document it, all right, document it and say, well, look, you know, you're either racist or anti-racist. Okay. And so there's no such thing that I'm not a racist, and I'm not a racist is not a category. Okay. All right. Okay. So you have all these different groups and that sort of thing that people are biased or prejudiced about. See, but what over all these years, what has made it work? Because that was the question I always asked. Right. What made this thing work so long? Okay. And what made it work so long is that the racial policies were implemented. For sure. You see, so for sure. The policies were implemented, then the ideas were further put forward to the consumers of racism. For sure. All right. For sure. Now, a question that I used to ask, and I still ask, is why we have so much betrayal of both, you know, black folks betraying us and white folks, you know? And he said, well, he answered the question. He said, well, the reason why we have this betrayal is because of self-interest. So if you have a politician that's in your corner left and right every day, you know, if it's going to threaten their re-election, they're going to back away. If you have a business person that's, you know, very egalitarian, donating and that sort of thing to you and your effort, if it begins to affect his bottom line, he's going to withdraw. Okay. And have withdrawn. Right? Yeah. People that are educators, they'll come out for time and they will be right on the front line, but if it's affecting their tenure or some promotion or something like that, they'll back away. Okay. So you see the politicians, you see people in the clergy as well. You know, if you think it is as a threat to their congregation and that sort of thing, in their place in the church, they'll back away. Yes. See, so you have it is both ways, and then when we do make some advance simultaneously, and with extreme prejudice, there's another meeting going on. And they're, you know, in the burbs somewhere on an island or drinking mid-juleps somewhere and talking about figuring out how we're gonna get the power back. Counter that. Yeah, how we gonna neutralize whatever just happened. And they go about doing it. So you see all these programs and stuff that we've had over the years, all of a sudden it just disappeared. It's just gone. Right. You know, and it's deliberate. It's not an accident. Okay. It's almost like planned obsolescence, you know? Right. It's there for time, and even though you think it's a permanent thing, it's cut off. Now, what happens when you have a situation that somebody come to help you, and you've had coping mechanisms, right? To keep you in place where you are. Then what happens is that someone comes along and says, well, look, we have a solution to this. We can really help you with this. So they implement a program or project or whatever, and your life becomes easier. Then suddenly, you know, within a few years, it's gone. Now, you're worse off than you were before because, number one, you've forgotten the vernacular of what you used to do before. Okay. Right? Some of the people probably passed on or moved on, so you really don't have the connection. So you have to you don't go back to zero. You start less than zero. So if you have a situation in a community where we're always starting back at less than zero, you're bound not to make progress. Okay. You know, because it's by design. Like the guy say in the book, who's that? Jefferson Davis. Stand from the beginning. Say it was designed like that. Okay. It wasn't meant for the African American to progress in this country.
So how do we deal with this? Now that we know that this, like you said, the policies keep it going, self-interest. But they all go back to the original ones who making the policies and the ones who are able to influence that power, using and then what they follow is their defense mechanism. Right. It's going back. It's going back to that. So I guess the thing is now, you know, looking after reading this book, it was kind of discouraging, but I mean, you know, because you learn it, you like, man. But now that's on the macro level, because we talking about the people as a group. At the same time, we talking about individuals, like what Heather talking about. So, but the group and the individual is fighting the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get deep, right? Do you know where I'm going with it? It's really like the group got a collective conscious,
Okay.
and the single conscious is actually fighting the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just at one in a big level, and
Mm-hmm.
one is on a smaller level,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the same opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this thing happened, this thing now takes form individually, and then you don't get ahead, he don't get ahead. Everybody stay in their same place.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, man, it just got me thinking on some things, man. We need to really go back, I guess, to the drawing board. I think we need to take no action for a while and just really study this thing and just really, really come together and get some type of idea. How do you fight this thing? Now, the book also talked about this. A change will happen once the group or the individual is able to develop enough power to counter that change, or he or she become conscious of that level. But then once you get to that level, guess what? There's another level, and another level, and another level. I'm tired, man.
Yeah. But you see, the thing that really look workable is that now you know. You see, before you couldn't articulate it. Once you're able to articulate the struggle, is when you really can do something about it. You know, you didn't know that there were ghosts like that. You knew there were ghosts of slavery, but you didn't know where the ghosts were.
Yeah.
You know there were things haunting us. It's you couldn't just put your finger on it.
Right.
You know, what's going on here or there? And so I think what Kende, Dr. Kende actually did was to give us a new paradigm in order to evaluate what's going on and to move forward.
Okay.
Because it can be applied to so many different areas.
Okay.
You know, it's a racism thing too.
Yeah, it's a group thing, but it's also
it's
an individual thing.
It's ideas.
Yes, it's
You
ideas.
see? And everything in this room used to be an idea.
For sure.
And that's why it's so difficult to pinpoint it, because it's an idea. It's not tangible. Although the results are tangible.
Okay.
But the impetus of it is not tangible. So what happens is that anytime a person can give you something on a spiritual level, take it and materialize it, and it causes oppression and that sort of thing, it takes a really wicked idea, a person to do that kind of thing. But it happens all the time. And he was saying, you know, sometimes you have people that are racist in the morning and anti-racist in the evening.
Oh,
You know, because it depends on what's going on in the day.
Right.
You know, so it's one of those things where there's a flux.
Wow.
But now you can get a hold of it because you say, well, you know, was that a racist idea?
Wow.
Or was that an anti-racist idea?
Okay.
And so you have the segregationist. All right. You have the and you have the apologist. He didn't say the apologist, though.
The apologist.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You have the simulationist.
Yeah.
Segregationist.
Right.
Who's the other one?
I know. Like I said, one practiced upward suasion, and there was other groups, but these same identifiers work, like I say, on macro and micro.
Yes,
you know?
it's a thorough plan.
So,
that's why it works so well. But
Yes,
the best way to influence a group, because it's high psychology. The psychology that was used on us for the last 400 or 500 years was the same psychology that Pharaoh used in Egypt. You know, the same thing. You know, the people had the people had the people's psychology, and that's what's wrong with our people. You know, it's just it says like we sleep. Yeah, you sleep in the days, but this ought to wake you up. You know, this ought to wake you up. Start waking you up.
Start waking
Yeah, you see, because now you have a different issue, and the more people talk about it, Because I'd love to see him come here. I'd love to see him come to Levitt.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we pushing for that. Go ahead and say it on. We want to get that brother.
We would like to have him come here
after you,
and we'll see.
Man,
you know,
then we could really run some questions.
Yeah,
down.
because
he need to get here.
Yeah,
we need to push that.
Yeah.
I haven't read the book, you know, but I'm always optimistic, and you know, I will throw numbers in there a little bit at a time. But
well, you're a healer, and it's working on the same principle. All this stuff is still working on the same principle. What you are, and that's why we're not leaving you out
for sure.
Because really, what you're doing already, and the things you're addressing. Is what this about, and this whole healing thing. It's connected.
Yes, it is.
It's
and if we could do a worldly conscious thing, then we could make some changes.
Yeah.
You know, but like you said, it started at a micro level. So if I'm conscious, I know that I need to do some healing.
Right.
And I know I could at least teach a couple of other people, you know, some healing that maybe, you know, they can teach some more people to heal, you know, and so it can spread eventually.
It's gonna have to do that way. What you're saying is gonna have to start with the individual and then work its way out. But you got to understand what you're dealing with. You still, because you could see the characters in here. Because what was the last one? The Panther.
No, it was Angela Davis.
Yeah, Angela Davis. You could see them going through their transformation, and they knew what they was dealing with, but they wasn't sure how to fight it. All they know is we gotta fight it.
Okay.
But you need to really know what you're dealing with and knowing how to fight it. That's why they steady with it. Because E.B. Du Bois, he really did the most around me, man. He did the most change, and you know he was knocking. You know, we talking from a group perspective. I want you to stay with the individual for a reason, because we're gonna show how these two parallel. Okay. That's why it's gonna tie in. Watch. Okay. But he was showing how he was attacking these groups on a whole, really doing that. But you know, it's all a good thing, man. It's all it's all where it's at, man. Everybody love him. But you know, it's like I said, it's just going to these things and understand what you're going against. You don't understand who was that? Dr. Frances Cress Nelson. She said this. If you don't understand racism, it's only going to confuse you. Because one, you're dealing, like I said, you're dealing with. Now we know what we're dealing with. You're dealing with a defense mechanism. You're dealing with an idea.
You're dealing with an idea.
Like Brother Hakeem said, you're dealing with an idea, concept. It's not tangible. So you can't put a finger on it.
Yes.
But you could see how this idea influence the policies and everything else in the world around.
Even religion.
Religion. Well, she said it. Dr. Frances Cress Nelson says it's in laws, religion, politics, entertainment, education. It's 8 different categories. Yes. It's in there.
And education alone, oh my gosh.
Right.
Education alone cripples a lot of people.
A lack of it. Man, these poor educations they get. Our books were so bad down there, man. I had science books. They was talking about they thinking about going to the moon.
So even with those books, it's what's in those books.
I said, man, when did they write this book, man? They thinking about going. The scientists are thinking about going here and doing that. That book was old, man. That was an old book.
What's in those books?
When did they go to the moon, in the 60s? That book had to be before the 60s. So I said, well, how old is this book, man?
Yeah, but
it's just some things that it's some things here that we dealing with personally and as a group at the same time. So the fight is gonna have to be taken on both levels at the same time. It can't just be done on one. Right. It's gonna have to be done on individual level, and it's gonna have to be done in the group format at the same simultaneously, because you are being corralled. Yeah, you're being corralled on one end and attacked on the other. Okay. You're being corralled as a group, but you're being attacked individually.
Okay. Yeah. I know sometimes minds go up and down, but I have a defense mechanism too. I'm working on it a little bit more, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm able to like actually have a little bit more patience with people, and
Okay.
I'm able to accept that you're entitled to your own opinion. And so when you speak to me, I'm listening.
Okay.
I don't have too many objectives or judgment going on in my head while you're talking.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But someone might want me to react to their idea.
Yeah.
You know?
And we just had sort of an incident like that play out, didn't we?
Yeah. And so, you know, I probably and may have to prove my point at times, but at the same time, you know, I know for a fact that I'm optimistic. And I'm ready to think of different ways to not be attacked and have to attack.
So is optimistic a defense mechanism?
Optimism? Well, it's interesting. It could be. Depends how you play it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So it's no way.
It's better. Well, it is a way. I think, you know, Kende's approach and the idea and the ego thing is one aspect of it. I think that we have other things too that we need to do. One of the things that we need to do as a collective is to accept more responsibility.
Okay.
That would change us almost overnight.
Okay.
Just accepting more responsibility, and for what? For our own growth, our own success.
Okay.
Our own everyday life. You know.
Yeah.
To get control of it, because you know, oftentimes the problems that we say we face could be eliminated if we were doing it ourselves rather than having other people to do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See,
where my kids at?
That's right in Heather's field right there.
Where's my kids? Like I told you, no more excuses.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and it's not something, you know. We look at a successful person. What they do? They have a job, nice, have a house,
right?
They can sleep and have good food, entertainment. Probably make a vacation from time to time. But it's just creature comfort, you know. A roach, a spider, a dog, a rat, a cat. They all have these creature comfort. So what we do, we're thinking that we're on some ethereal plane somewhere. We're just basic, you know, rat people almost, you know, because of what we desire and how we live. That's not living. I think it was Chief Seattle when he was talking about selling. They wanted to buy the land. He said, you know, I can't sell you this. This is from the Creator. I'm going to tell you something I don't even own. And so he said, I'm afraid though, when telephone wires and all the rest of the things in summation, to paraphrase, when they go up, we will stop living and start to existing. And I think the thing that we face as a community, for the most part, is that we exist. Because there's nothing, you know, we just do the same thing over and over and over again, and we keep getting the same. What is it? You
Insanity?
Insanity.
Yeah, I was talking about that
and
today.
Of course, you know, you don't have no one has a Heather on speed dial. Everyone don't have a Heather.
Nah, they ain't got the number. Right? You better not call me. I'm on here.
To get some,
so is that talk? Someone said, is that talk? Is that key? Huh? I can't wink.
So, you know, we have that. You know, and I think that more and more is going to happen. You see, what we don't realize is that society has grown so much.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so much going on that we have to take responsibility for ourselves because nobody really going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
they're too busy trying to get their own self together, you know?
You bring up something, man, now that's in the thing. Everybody talking about reparations, right? So the word reparations, if you go back to the root word, means to repair, right?
Right. And restore, yeah.
Restore. So self-reparation should be taken in first. You should start doing your own. And then once you do your own, do you feel like the other part will be handed to us? If we started doing our own as a group, first as an individual. We're gonna talk as an individual, and then as a group too. Because me and you coming from a group perspective, Heather's coming from an individual. So from an individual perspective, she could start doing like what she's doing now, eating right. She's not ingesting all that, you know, things that take her out. She's not out there being wild and busting out car windows and jumping on top of cars like she did in that Michael Jackson video. You know what I'm talking about? Is that you?
Oh,
see, again, Kiki came out. But
oh my God,
that's Kiki in me. But
I ain't
Kiki
do all of it,
Okay.
but I ain't gonna admit to nothing.
But we know that on a personal level, this could take care and start educating yourself. Now that you know what we dealing with here, and like reading this book here, and we're gonna do more on this book too, because me and this brother gonna get on here. We're gonna really break this down. We need to go into it, but we need to start putting the self-reparation. We don't have to wait on no legislation for that.
No.
Right, we could do that in your house right now.
Yes.
Have your house cleaned up.
Yes.
Not cleaned up, but you know, have your house in order. They say had a house in order, not cleaned up, right? Yeah, had a house in order mean taking care of your business the right way.
Yes.
So you don't have to wait on this, and then we could do that. I think Kiki said something. What he said?
Great show.
Hey man,
I am watching.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hey Kiki, I got you, man. I challenged you twice, man.
Oh, my
Kiki
God.
getting in my head. I'm telling
Look,
you.
man.
Hey.
Stay. Bye.
That's the David Ruffin.
Your day off,
man.
Day off. But yeah, so individually, you must take care of yourself.
Right.
You know, inside, out.
Right. Okay.
Everything you need, you already got. That's the truth. So if you're looking for something outside, you could use it as resource. But most of the answers are inside of you. You know? Now, when we start talking about ideas,
right, you
can start really trying to figure out, did this idea come from me or it came from someone else, which is outside? You get what I'm saying? So racism came from outside, and someone put it in you or instilled in you, or, you know, that type of form. So you start to question those things like, where did this come from? Yeah. Maybe I need to start focusing on, why am I really angry or mad or frustrated or scared when a black man comes in front of me asking me questions or not, you know, answering my questions? You know, where does it come from?
Okay.
Does it come from outside or is it already there? Most likely it came from outside. And if it came from outside, you need to start trying to figure out, why are you still holding on to that? You know, is it really you?
Right.
Or is it just something that you want to portray? You know, because we have a lot of people that have on those masks.
Well, the brain don't know the difference between really going through something or a simulation. You know, the brain, if I tell you I got robbed.
Okay.
Man, these dudes came up here with their pants sagged down and they robbed me. And it was some black guys, they robbed me and all that. And you know, I was over there, they was wearing t-shirts. You already got this image in your mind now.
Okay.
So now when you see this, you're gonna be like, I might get robbed. Because now your brain, I just threw an image in your brain.
Okay.
And I influence your thought. Now you gonna develop a defense mechanism.
Right.
You know, it's contagious.
Right.
It's contagious. So now
if
you got a lot of people spread this stuff, and you got fake media that spread this all day, and that's what you got now. They have pushed that, so they'll spread that. The minute they don't even have to go through that, they can always, well, I heard this, and it creates this reaction in the body where the fight or flight go in.
Okay.
And now we going into again a defense mechanism.
Okay.
So you know, now you can still be nice to this person, but as we see, we just saw a young lady down there at Tiana in Texas. The guy, the police, he outside the window. You saw the video. Everybody saw the video. He right out submitting. He don't even say. All he said, "Get your hands up!" Pow. You know, and you shoot the lady. You know, what do you? Now, would he have done that in an all white area?
No.
Would he have done something like that?
No, we know that, and he knows that.
He knows that, but the idea was already planted in this man's head that
any black person,
that must be
it
a
doesn't
criminal,
matter.
right? And they did a study with that. They even showed they did that study where they said they'll show the kids, you know, a black face, white face, and then first reaction that come in your head, you know.
So, I got a question. So, racism is an idea.
That's what
which
it is.
An idea can be true or false.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, an idea can be true or false. So, they've been pushing this idea for all these years, in which...
Well, they backed it up with science. Yeah, you know. they said, well, say for example, when they were talking about this guy, Cotton Mather.
But science lies too.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, but that's what they were doing.
Their science was all twisted.
Yeah, the science was, you know,
yes.
like with the idea of I think it was William Lord Garrison when he was talking about how slavery caused the African American to become brutes, you know, and that getting them away from that and integrating them. He was an integrationist, right? Get them away from that, see a model, and you can do that. Now, this one thing that he said, that Kende said, and I think that was very profound, aside from some of the other things. He said, he asked the question, he said, well, what's wrong with black people? He said, what's wrong with black people is that black people think something's wrong with them.
That's the truth, and you said that the other day too.
Yeah, that's it. You know, nothing wrong with you.
That is,
you just think something
true.
wrong with you.
Yeah.
And that's
where
the
did that
big
come from?
con. Yeah.
An idea.
It's an idea. Right.
An idea, which is false. Individually, it's false. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. You know?
Right.
I'm not. And that is false. So back to the educational system and stuff. So those ideas were put into the books in which I learned and read and had to study and memorize and everything else until I finally figured out. I felt it inside myself. Something's not right.
Right.
Something's wrong. You know, women have this intuition, you know, and it's just like certain things wasn't right. So I had to search for the truth.
Okay.
In which I do believe everyone has that little searching and searching for the actual truth.
Right.
It all depends on if you accept it, aware of it, you know, that type of thing.
Right.
So these lies, these ideas are false and can be true, whichever one, but you know, it's which one are you really gonna, you know, blossom in your head, you know?
Well, that's why we was talking about this today, because the whole idea now is to, once we bring this to your conscious, because a lot of these things are subconscious. They happen on a subconscious level. You don't know they happen. You going in an autopilot.
Yes.
Just like when you drove. Can you tell me when you drove to work Monday, what you was wearing, how many cars passed you, all that? Can you tell me that? Because you was on autopilot.
Right.
So most of us are on autopilot.
Yes.
But now we got to become on pilot, focus, conscious, in order to counter this thing. You know?
Yes.
We're not gonna be able to reason with it because it's a defense. Not be a defense, and that's what some of them was doing. They was trying to do that. They was trying to reason.
No,
with
you can't reason with it
You can't
anymore.
reason with it. You can't reason with it.
It doesn't work for us.
Right. It don't work. So what you're gonna have to just do is, what my opinion is, you just gonna have to go there and just, like you said, just focus on yourself and don't worry about that. You know, you be the best you could be. And that's what.
And then
I be
maybe
the best
that
Tiger.
Model.
This brother be the best Hakeem. You be the best Heather.
Yes.
Hey, I can't, but I'm not gonna let you influence me and tell you what you think I am.
Yes.
You know, you can't define me. I define myself.
Right.
And that's one of the issues that a lot of young men be facing, especially coming up in the hoods like that.
Yes.
You know, you'll start thinking you this criminal, this thug, or oh man, I'm out of here. And you will hear a lot of guys, man, you know, man, you from Philly, you supposed to be this way or that way. Now you ain't supposed to be no way. You just a man, man. Just be you. You know, be you and handle your business and do what you need to do. That sound like Kiki to say something like that. We're gonna leave with that. We channeling Kiki today, man.
He said everything starts with self. Remember I was talking about
right.
super consumer?
Yeah.
An idea in which they started feeding and pushing things in our face, in our hand, and
that's right.
Start picturing things.
Well, you caused the big stir with that one, because they was denying that, but that was defense mechanism.
Yes.
That he was like, no, you're not there. And then what he do? He started attacking you.
Yep.
He started attacking your credibility.
Right.
Because his defense mechanism, that was part of his defense mechanism.
Yes.
So we got to know when we fighting with the ego.
Yep.
And you know, it was a good. Yep. It was a.
Yep. That was good learning.
It was the Bible had a good learning moment with that. When Jesus was talking to one of his disciples, and he told him, he said, "Get behind me, Satan." Who was that? Hakeem. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember the phrase.
Yeah. He said, it was it Peter? And he said, the guard, he said, you want me to get him? He said, "Get behind me, Satan." He wasn't calling him Satan. He was talking, he knew that this man was going into his defense mechanism. He was talking to the ego.
Wow.
He wasn't, because you know, I know some people who took that verse literally, like I had a cousin say, see, he called him Satan. No, he wasn't calling him Satan. He was talking to the defense mechanism, which was fight or flight. And that's why he told him, he said, "Get behind me."
Yes.
So this man, this being in there was aware of this defense mechanism. Once it show up, I guess then this is your Satan, or this is what we fighting here on every level. Is it? Is it? Is this our the dude with the red tail and the horns? That's what we dealing with. But
I don't know. I don't have that kind.
I don't know, but I'm just saying
idea about him. But I think it's influences. We're dealing now. I was just thinking as you were talking. I was thinking about the backlash, because you know, anytime you have something like that, you have a backlash. For example, we were talking about was that Napoleon Hill's book, the one that has
interview Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah, Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah, Outwitting the Devil.
Pushback.
Yeah, hey Kiki, they talking your book, brother.
Preachers were telling people their congregation not to read it.
Really?
Pushback, yeah.
Really?
And now he's going to get some pushback, because you know they're going to dust him off, dust his old professors off. Yeah. You know, and say, okay, now I want you to write something counter to this. It might be one of those things. Well, hey man, I can't counter this. How am I going to counter this?
Yeah.
But you know, a good servant will do what Yazabals. And go ahead on and put some of his articulation.
Self-interest. You get self-interest. You
say, hey man, you know, you got that chairman position. You be able to knock this one off. You know, a dean position or whatever.
Oh.
You see.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Yazabals.
That's another defense mechanism right there.
Acceptance, I guess.
That's an influence. And then, he influenced him. But, you know.
Because it's coming. I mean, you know, there's no doubt in my military mind. That's coming, you know. They have to have it rebuked or whatever, or dismiss it. But you can't dismiss it, because, you know, young brother, it's on the New York Times bestseller list. He won the National Book Award. So it's out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's out there. It's not like, you know, you can hold it back. You can't now.
Yeah.
So I was talking to someone today. They said they're reading Racist, Anti-Racist.
Okay.
Book, his other book.
Okay.
So, you know, we have a ways to go. But again, I think it's a good place to start.
Yes.
And to see that the ideas have not been used up yet. That we still have the good Lord still can influence the mind.
Good.
And have these secrets that people think that they have just come out to the full, like, whoa, is that right? You know, because it's a revelation.
It's been one.
To see that, because that's the issue.
Right.
You know, because that's when I say, oh, okay, I got it now.
Right.
You know, and if you have it like that, then you can push forward because now you understand. So when look, well, Frank, you're just being a racist right now.
Right, but he don't know it. He don't know it. It's subconscious. He don't.
You see,
he don't know it half the time that he's being that. He don't. They don't know it.
You see,
it's something that's happening subconsciously. It's the driver. It's like driving to work, but you're not even thinking about it. You're just doing it and you're talking on your
automatic
phone.
pilot.
So now what we got the goal, I guess, on one level, on personal level, is you got to identify in yourself. But as the group, we're gonna have to call it out too, man.
So do we need to do more of what Jane Elliott has been doing?
Go ahead, elaborate.
All right, so Jane Elliott she was a teacher and she finally retired. So she was doing, simulations in her classroom amongst the white children, and she started putting them in categories. So the blue-eyed and blonde hair on this side, brown-eyed, and whatever on this side. And so she started calling those, that weren't of the same category, like the blue-eyed, blonde hair. They started feeling and filling out it. They started feeling,
that difference.
That difference. Right. So
well, we need more.
Do we need to start pushing more of that?
Yeah, I guess
so. People can identify that, hey, this was an idea. You thought of it and you've been running with it, or whatever it may be in that, long list.
From it.
Or you benefited from it. So what can we possibly do? Or what could you possibly do to figure out how to get rid of that false idea?
Man, I guess like you said, you're gonna have that type of training.
And somebody gonna be ready to fight. You're gonna get somebody to fight back. But if you get a few, and we talked about 1/3, if we get 1/3 to start doing some stuff differently, we might be able to do this.
Yeah, maybe cops need to go through that training. They need to go through that. And that simulation that they did.
Simulation, man.
What's that one they did with the prison too? Remember they did the prison one where they took the college students and they took one group and told them y'all gonna be criminals and y'all gonna be the overseers. And they got way out of hand.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a good training for all of them. Let all of them go through that training on both sides.
Simulations around here. So you can understand that ego.
Right.
You need to,
that defense mechanism that you're developing. And what you don't know that you're doing. That's how it go. But it's been a good show, man. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I'm glad we had our brother with us. And we're gonna see more of this brother coming up. I'm sure of it. He got the bug. He got a lot of good conversations and very interesting things to do. We're gonna invite him back and let him do the dollar. He loved, man. The dollar blow all their mind away, man. We're gonna do a couple other things, but the door is always open.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's
my self-love series is every first Saturday at Douglas Branch Library from 11 to 12:30. The next one is November the 2nd at Douglas Branch Library from 11 to 12:30.
Talk a little bit about what you're doing on that right quick. Go ahead.
Pretty much I am pretty much promoting health promotion, leadership, self-love tips, self-care tips, talking about mindfulness. We do activities. I do not give that away, but we do activities that bring you back to a place that you can actually be relaxed and comfortable and serene.
That's what's up. All right, y'all, that's it. It's Tiger, man. I'm out. Heather out.
Yes.
Hakeem out.
Thank you.
Peace to Kiki out there, Damon. And Kiki, man, I channeled you, brother. I got you.
I'm going to press the button on you.
She fit press the button.
Yes.
Again, man, this is WRFU, Banner Socialist Forum. And these views are views that we express today, not the station. So don't call and be talking about some, man, they own something over there. But we hope y'all enjoy yourself. I got to get out of here and go to a function. So I'm out, y'all. Peace.
He said Peter was in the flesh. And then, man, this was a great show. I think Hakeem should replace me. Kiki. I don't even know why you throwing stuff out there, though. I mean, like, just stop, man. Dang. Bye. Okay? We love y'all. Thanks for tuning in.